Janet Dupree helps leaders to navigate the uncharted demands of a rapidly changing and unpredictable world. Never in our modern history has this been more relevant. The company she founded, Engagement Dynamics, offers consulting, coaching, and change design services to develop astute 21st century leaders and sustainable, congruent companies. Janet helps these leaders and organizations to optimally engage people and encourage leadership from all, supporting their intentions, connecting with them meaningfully, and enabling powerful goal-directed action to tackle the challenges of change, complexity, and conflict, which constantly disrupt the status quo.
I'm going to speak. You've heard enough of my voice, so you don't need to know too much more about me. You'll get info on me in the pack. But I am going to speak to you today on an interesting topic. It's called Unmute. And I actually wrote a blog last year, and that was before COVID, when every second time we got online, we were telling people to unmute. So let me share my thoughts with you. As muted and marginal members of society, how do they make their voices heard? That's a quote from Isabel Hofmeyr. Nonsizi Kwetu, and I apologize if I've pronounced that wrong, found and expressed her voice in an age when Black women were marginalized, diminished, and muted. Her writing is described by Opland as swaggering, urgent, and confrontational. She challenged male dominance, ineffective leadership, Black apathy, white malice, and indifference, exploitation, and territorial and cultural dispossession. As she wrote in her first poetic submission to Umthetheli Wabantu, which was a newspaper edited by Marshall McClellan, who was Charlotte McClellan's husband. I'm going to try and read this, and I know I'm going to get it wrong, but I'm going to try. Kubatina simadoda nje asizange, sihibona kowetu imbongi kazi, yenkakazana kuba imbongi inyuka, ninkuntla ituke inkosi. Translated, no female poet came from our house. The poet who rouses the court and censures the kings, always a male. For too long, our women's voices have been muted, literally and figuratively, by force or by choice. By now, you probably know that I do not buy into the notion that this is all the fault of men. I regularly participate in online meetings on Zoom platforms. The organizer has the power to mute everyone, and each participant has the power to unmute themselves, irrespective of who muted them. Whilst men certainly do need to change in order to become more egalitarian and inclusive, we cannot make that choice for them. We can only engage with them in such a way that they willingly choose to be different. Unmuting is a good start. In order to unmute, you must first find your voice. You must discover your authenticity, who you are in your soul, your core beliefs, the need which most anguishes your heart, the meaning which inspires your deep, fervent energy, and the best impression you can make on the world. Get really clear on the message that you want to be and the community to which you wish to convey it. By voice, I mean the message that you are to the world, your personal presence and impact. Once you've clarified the words which you wish to embody, you must ensure that you have a voice. You can either wait for someone to give you a voice, or you must find where and how you can express yourself such that you will be heard by those whom you seek to impact. In an increasingly clamorous world, being heard requires intentionality, artistry, originality, and deft accuracy. To be heard, you must somehow arrest attention. To capture attention, you must pay attention to your audience and to your tone of voice. Know who you are, the power of your associations and your authority. Nonsizi named and positioned herself and her message in the context of her heritage. She understood her identity and claimed the stature of her upbringing. She embraced the value of the circumstances of her birth and who she was born to be, recognizing that every aspect had contributed to her bearing and authority. She spoke and lived with conviction, demonstrating her willingness to actively live her message, participating in anti-past demonstrations, and getting herself arrested for her cause. What is the wealth of your experience and heritage? Which associations with credible people or organizations can you legitimately mention? How can you speak with more authority, clarity, or power? What actions support your vocal message? Define your core themes and repeat them. Nonsizi was not afraid to repeat herself and took a clear stand on some clear issues. While some may view this as forgetful or lazy, consistent repetition drew attention to some of her core messages. The powerful stanza that I am about to read was repeated 8 times in her poems and spoke with haunting power of the desolation of the desecrated home and homes of the African people. Perhaps this was the deepest cry in Nonsizi's heart. Oh, the homestead standing alone with easy access through its gates, whose people once had plenty, now a sign of oppression, which has also been translated, become today a place of want. What do you stand for? What are the core themes which will define your voice? How can you repeat these themes so that they become recognizable but not stale? The Me Too movement has demonstrated the power of voice so well. As early as 2006, one woman, Tarana Burke, expressed a message to the world. Alyssa Milano joined her in 2017, followed by more and more women who already had a voice in the world speaking out their truth, ensuring that their powerful, transformative, cohesive, consistent message was heard. They have been heard in the media. They have been heard on red carpets and from prominent stages by influential people. They have been heard in the courts. They have been heard across the globe. Astute woman, unmute and impact the world.